Thanks for staying with us. So today is Thursday, and we usually like to gist household issues, family issues, relationship issues, whichever one we come across on social media. So we came across this particular story of a man, or a statement by a man saying that one of the causes of divorce and separation in marriages these days is not just about infidelity. It's about the gadgets that we have in our hands, our phones. Our phones have caused more harm than good in our marriages. And I'd like us to explore that topic this morning. You tell us your thoughts by joining the conversation and calling us on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. You'll be telling us how the gadget has affected your home, your intimacy, your friendship with your spouse, and even your family members, your kids. We have kids these days that have their phones almost 24/7, always on one app or the other, one game or the other, and we find that we do not really have that connect we used to have growing up. So let's talk about it today. And who is ready to tell us your experience with the gadgets?
Okay. Well, we are dealing with it too, just like everybody. I remember myself and my husband, I had an event on the island, so I checked into a hotel and I said he should join me. And in the hotel, both of us were on the phone for about an hour before I realized, whatever you are looking for, you could have been doing this in your house, but this is a hotel outside the house. And so I cautioned myself. And we went for an event too where the sheikh was speaking at one normal event. One of the international sheikhs that visited the country was talking about how the phones are more dangerous now than anything else. That you see people that in his house, I'm trying to remember the name of that sheikh. He said in his house, when you come in, there's a basket. Not Mufti Menk. He said there's a basket somewhere in the house. Once everybody comes in, you put your phone on silent and drop it.
Wow.
So the next day, nobody picks it, so that the parents are parenting, the husband and wife are husband and wife and everything. And as my husband was listening to, because both of us were in attendance, and you know, at Muslim events, there's a separation of male and female. So we were chatting, and was sending me, "Do you hear? Can we apply this in our house?" He did it for a week. Inside that 1 week, maybe 3 days successfully. After a while, like, I just want to check my... I just want to... Did you hear? Did you watch this? Did you see one politician? And eventually we are back on our phone. So it's something that is dangerous. There are extremes to it. I'm just saying, you know, what we are dealing with now are still the basics, but these things are so addictive. And anything that can make you that can distract you from the most important things, which is, of course, your kids, your spouse, is more dangerous than whatever kind of infidelity. In those days, you're scared about, because your person can be on their phone, and even the other party that they're cheating on you with is right there. Right there through the phone. So there are 3 people in the house. Or, you know, I'm dealing with a family member's infidelity story for the past 1 month. And it's so sad to find out that all the time she thought her husband was working on his laptop, on his phone. He was talking to
a babe.
Not be a babe, the several other women.
Hey, well.
And you know, and it's something that people will want to. You see women asking for passwords. I don't have those issues in my house. All passwords are public in my house. So everybody, even my daughter now knows so we have an open place where everything is transparent and we don't have those fears. But these are serious issues and extremes. For those of us who don't even have fear, the addiction to the gadget itself, that you're always holding it in your face, as if that's all that is important in the world, is enough. Talk less of, you know, some of these extremes that I'd like to just have.
Deep and scary.
Very scary, because this is my personal story. And I was just I really would like us to discuss this, because for me, we've had to go on a journey, and I can tell you from where my addiction started. So I started the lifestyle with ML Community. Before then, I wasn't really, you know, I would hardly even be on social media anyways. But it involved me being on the phone for, you know, for quite some hours. In the beginning, I was able to keep it between certain hours. After a while, as more people joined, more people would reach out different parts of the world, you know. And that is where I believe my addiction started. So even if you are not talking about lifestyle with ML Community, there's something else that's caught your attention, and before you know it, you go down the rabbit hole of social media, you're going through one page or the other. for me, it affected my relationship with my husband in the sense that these were gist buddies. I used to like, my husband is a funny person, we sit, we talk, and I was less present with my children. And they brought it up, they complained about it, my mom complained about it, my husband. So what we've done recently, and I hope ours works, because we are quite deliberate about it. I started work on myself before I even asked anyone else to do the same. Yeah. And I remember my husband saying, I see a whole lot of difference. You're involved with the children, you're not constantly on your phone, but you and I also need to do. So I did not go, oh, you need to drop your phone. I'll just put my phone aside and just wait for him till he's... And I blame myself also for him constantly being on his phone, because you were always on your phone and he's there waiting till he got tired of waiting and, you know, he got into the habit of constantly being on his phone. But what we do now is when he comes home, when he's back from work or anything, we put our phones aside and we talk. And also, what has helped me with my children is that we've gone back to reading. I used to be that mom that would pick up a book, would read together, I'll read to them, they'll read to me. And I now notice that my younger daughter is not as, you know, she doesn't read as much as my older, you know, my son, because he knew the mommy that would read. Phone was not part of it. Television was not a major part of our household. In fact, if you come to my house, my TV is deliberately a certain size because I don't want these gadgets to be the focus of our family meetings and hangout. But all glory be to God. I'm doing much better. I started last year. I'm doing much better this year. My daughter, I even started reading Harry Potter books because I got her the whole collection by Christmas. And mid-January, I'd asked her about it, and I realized she hadn't read. So I picked up a book, I read it, and she was like, okay, I'll read it right after you. And I feel like I'm going back to the mother that I used to be and giving the parenting that I need to be and being the available, present wife that I used to be for my husband. So you guys keep praying for me. This is such a personal issue for me.
Together on this one.
We are all on the table.
In fact, I don't think I read the whole of 2020.
Wow.
So I used to read every evening. We have these science fiction books. I love them. And we'll read about, you know, discoveries and all of that. But the whole of 2022 was this thing.
Yeah. So for me, both of you have tried to work on it. I'm not even ready to try it yet, honestly. What I do work on my phone. Like, this is my office. That's the truth. It's my office. It is how I reach out to customers, and I am working. What has now, so I've been in this space for the past 2 years, since I went into real estate in 2021, and I started closing, like, my entire transaction is from phone. So I know that I don't joke with my phone. I cannot, if I see, something happened to me in 2021, a client reached out to me, and I put 2 numbers on my phone, on my advert. So myself and a friend, then we were doing commission. The person called me, sent me a message, did not reply for like 2 hours, then he called my friend and he closed the deal, paid through my friend. That means I missed out the commission. And it was my advert. Like, I paid to sponsor it. He paid me so much. I took it very personal. And I was like, no way. If I was on my phone, if I responded in time, I would have been the one to close. So I became more, I'm always on my phone, Sha. And it's a point of quarrel. We've had the conversation. I had to tell my husband entering the year that, see, I'm going to be on my phone. We can't change that yet until I've been able to fully put structure to my business and then I bought more lines. I advertise more lines than my own line now, so that more inquiries will go to them. But sometimes customers will call the number. You know the way staff can be. Once I can pick call at 11 p.m. because it's my business. They will say, they will be like, I'm not available at this moment during office hours. So I had to now take it more. So I told my husband, I said, when you feel like I'm doing it too much, just take the phone. Like, I'm not going to get angry. Just take my phone and say, let's talk. So I think he's done it like 2 or 3 times. I want him to do it more, but because I know that I can be forgetful. I know probably a time in my life would come when I'll be able to make that decision. Maybe I'll be able to go the Mariam route of saying, I'm going to put this phone down. Maybe I've already arranged my business a bit more. But for now, it's bad. Yes, it's really, really...
What can we do to help you? To help your case? But you're not ready yet.
I'm not ready.
You're not ready yet.
I'm not ready.
What can we do to help your life?
Help your life.
I'm not ready yet, you know, I'm not.
Okay, this issue cuts across. Everybody has a form of this problem in their houses. I have a major one as well. I'm a portfolio entrepreneur. That means I don't have an office, a physical office yet. So all my businesses are here and here. And I have to attend to customers one-on-one. The few times I tried to get a PA, we were not just getting it. They would not attend to the messages on time. Customers would have made orders. I would not see it and all that. So right now, I took everything back. I'm doing it myself. So it's a lot of work. And I know that I'm always on my phone. But I'm not on my phone playing. I'm actually working like a 9 to 5, but on the gadget. So my kids will come and say, Mommy, you're on your phone again. I say, come and look at what I'm doing. You see it? I'm posting market. You see it? I'm attending to customer. You see it? Because they want to make that excuse for themselves to be on their gadget. I say, you want to go to TikTok and go to Facebook and go to all those sites. That's not what I'm doing. I am working, you know, and I'm also trying to find a system where my daughter would help me, like be the PA when she's not in school, so that she would handle it from that angle and understand what I'm doing. My own is still small because I think I found a way to balance it in such a way that if it's time to attend to the children, I drop my phone. If I want to sleep, I drop my phone, you know. But Oga's own is heading towards the addiction one. He has a problem of sleeping right now. He doesn't sleep that much. And for every time his phone rings, this is somebody struggling to sleep, he will wake up and go and attend to the phone. So when we go on vacations, he'll be on his phone. I know there's work that still happens with the phone and emails and all that. But the bonding time we have on the table, he's with his phone. I seize his phones from him. Anytime we hang out, I carry all the phones, I put them in my handbag. Let us talk, you know? So it's something that every household will just have to find a way to. I remember the times when you go visit your parents, like now, everybody, we've come to visit Miriam, for instance. I'm on my phone, Miriam's on her phone, the kids are on their gadgets. The last time I came to visit your husband, he had to tell them to keep their gadgets and play with their friends. It's now become a subconscious part of us. Once we have the gadgets, we no longer communicate. We find out we no longer are able to share. We no longer connect with one another. And we need to find a solution, at least today.
There's also the extreme one. I'm guilty of that. When I used to allow clients call, once you give your number to a client, and you see lawyers, they don't pay us. It's not better money. A client will pay you 100,000 naira for a full court case. Wow. You might be in court for a full year plus. That's the only money they want to pay. No appearance fees, nothing. But this client will call you out of the blue and scatter your mood. And I could have had a bad day. I'm coming home and then the client calls me. He's shouting, and I'm forced to either shout back, and I go to my kids with it. I was like, Auntie, are you not seeing what is happening? I didn't see it. There was one Ramadan, we're just even finishing night prayers, you know, and Ramadan we have a long set of night prayers, and we prayed outside on the roof. And as I was done, I went on the phone. And it was, we're going in, it's bedtime. Maybe tomorrow you wake up early to cook. Are you going to work tomorrow? All of that, I was doing like this. I wasn't answering. I was answering with my hands. He was upset that, look at this lady. When are you going to come back to be, you know, you must put a timeline to it. And that has really helped me. There's no emergency any client is bringing. As long as this is not key in your house, me too, I will not come and die for it. I won't take your calls at a certain hour. Sometimes if you call me at 8:39, I could be seeing the phone ringing, but it's a rule in the house now, I won't even touch my phone. I won't pick it, no matter the emergency, because what they do sometimes is bring the vent, especially when it is a relationship, like we're dealing with divorce, or some people property. They will say, hey, I was just called now, they just called me now, that somebody's on that. Auntie,
they push the frustration to you.
Yes, and it affects you. If you cannot, you have to be able to separate it. If you're not careful, it affects. There was a time I was dealing with somebody in an abusive relationship. I was trying to convince her. We went into court for the divorce, but she needed to leave the violence scene. Leave the house. But she said, no, I need to take this, I need to take that. And in the middle of all of that, I was constantly on the phone. There was a time my husband called me. I'm not the one beating you. We are not beating each other in this marriage, because anytime you finish this course, you just do face. We are not fighting here, because you just switch into feminism and all of those things. Well, it's not in this house, so I didn't agree with what he was saying. I didn't even know it was possible.
You won't see it.
It took a while for me to see that I was now wearing the cap. I'm putting my husband in that person's image, and fights that did not exist, I will create it, and I'm waiting for the fight to end. So some of these things, they are real. If you cannot do, sometimes for some people you can do both. For some of us, we cannot do both. You must separate it. And there's nothing that is gree. Don't let anybody carry your head life up. Make sure that home and family is important. If the gadget is the cause of it, thank God. Miriam was the one that gave me the idea of signing out, and I did it.
Let's take
And for
this
those
call.
3 days, sanity came back.
Shola from Ikorodu. Good morning, Shola.
Yeah, good morning, your view.
Good morning.
Good morning, we are Julu and all the colleagues in the studio.
Good morning.
Honestly, this topic is a very interesting topic. You know, when you started this topic this morning, I was actually sitting down at the front of the television watching your view. So when you brought it up, that is exactly what I was thinking in my mind, because this phone of an issue has brought a lot of problems in my house. Honestly, my eldest daughter, she was with one of her junior sisters, though they are not staying with me. She just called yesterday that this phone of a thing has caused a lot of problems in their house. The immediate elder sister to that one, yes, we have been fighting over these things for the past 2 weeks.
Wow.
They will put food on the fire, and the whole thing will get done because they are busy pressing the phone.
So true.
And the worst part of it is that when you see that phone from them, it's like you are taking their life, you are taking life away from them. So I don't know what we can do about it, because that is exactly what I am passing through. I am thinking when this topic just came up. Honestly, it's causing a lot of damage for the fact that there are some advantage on the phone. And the worst part of it, is that if they are engaging on that phone with something that is profitable, that would have been better. But what they do on the phone is for them to chat, to watch film, to do all sorts of things that is not profit, that does not add to their life. Honestly, I would be very, very happy if we can have a solution to how we get these children from addicting into this mobile phone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shola. That's quite enlightening.
Yes, I mean, so let me just help. So first of all, I know we're also blaming the children, but I just wanted to, take our minds to also your workers. Even if you're the sort of person that is, oh, I have a house help, I have a maid, I have a cook, I have a lesson teacher, you will come and meet them on their own phone too.
Yes.
But madam, how dare you talk? Because there you are on your own phone as well. Auntie, you're in the kitchen, food is burning, and this is the person that has been employed to do the job. You're sitting down with your children, they're doing lesson, and then you notice lesson teacher is
on the phone.
I mean, everybody's on the phone. So for me, there was a time there used to be, which is actually happening in Nigeria now, like the wave of drug abuse. This is another sort of thing that is just spreading across, globally, and we need to do something about it. One thing I would say, maybe because of my children's age, we're able to keep them offline. So whatever it is that they have to do, is pre-seen. I've seen it, and I know what it is that they are watching, something that has been downloaded, and they should, But I worry also for parents of children who are from, let's say, 15, 16, 17, because there's just a limit to where you can say,
control.
They even know these things better than us. So whatever it is, you tell, okay, mom, they have different phones.
Yeah.
They have, for parents that even try to be, okay, let me be the outgoing mom. Let me be the mom that understands children. And say, okay, we'll open this social media page together. We'll do this. The child goes behind the parents' back and opens a special one for themselves. Here you are thinking, okay, me, I'm a mother that is even down with the times. I allow for open conversations still. So
well, let me pause you, Mom. I'll come back to you. We have a caller, Ola Jumoke from Kaduna. Good morning, Jumoke.
Good morning, Murayo. Good morning, everyone. First time caller.
Okay. Welcome to the
show. This topic is a very nice one for me. The phone issue has eroded the family ties. For me, when I was training up my children, the issue of phone came up. I was able to control them while we were in secondary school. But now, in my house, my husband will hold his phone. I will hold my own. There is no communication And for me, it has created a big gap, but I don't know how to solve it. In as much as it has its advantage, the disadvantage is enormous. And for me, it's really eating me up. So I don't know how to drop my food. Even me, I'm guilty of it. Is there any solution?
We'll get to that.
Yeah, so that's where I was headed. One thing that I know works for me and in my household is you need to be the example. So if it's bothering you, ma, you have to be the example. Don't go about telling people to turn off their phones or put their phones aside. They would not do it. But if you create a time for yourself, and you need to see this, I saw myself working on this phone addiction, like I was working on a weight loss program or working on something that needed time. There will be ups and downs, but drawing up a schedule for yourself. On Monday, at this time is when I would have my phone. At this time, I take it off. And start with small hours that you give to yourself. Okay, you start with 30 minutes on Monday. Eventually, you can go to an hour or a certain time during the day. You have to work on yourself. One thing I know about children and those that love you is that they mirror you. They want to do, and the more I put my phone aside, the more my children wanted to spend time with me. There was not even time for that to be in the way. So do it first. And then they would see that you're communicating with them. They're on the phone, but you're communicating with them. The reason why it's even more dangerous with children being on the phone is that because we are on the phone at the same time as them, we miss a lot of things. But when you create the time when you're not on the phone, you can stand over their head. Hey, what are you doing? They don't like it when you're even trying to involve in what they're doing. What are you doing? Hey, just me. They'll be like, oh, mommy. All right, what do you want? They have put phone aside. Husband too would see the effort that you're putting in, would see that you're spending time with the children. While he's on the phone, he's hearing laughter and whatever happening somewhere. What are you people doing, you know? So it's not an attack. Don't attack any family member, but start with yourself. And also with children, create a schedule for the children. If you have older children, you need to sit down and have a conversation and create a schedule for them.
So we're still discussing our gadgets and how we can handle it. So, Nima?
So I was saying that, you know, if the problem is you, like in my own case, I spotted my own problem. God will deal with his own with time. But my own problem is how whatever I do affects my kids. I can't be shouting on my children when they don't cause any problem because one client will not let me be. It's his own personal problem. Especially when the client is not a retainer. If you are a retainer, it means that you can call me anytime and give me that problem. But most Nigerians price retainership as if it's pure water, then you want to call me. So what I've done is I've put a distinction around everything, put them in their boxes. Yeah. You know, your retainer client is okay. You're a client who is pricing it, you don't want to pay retainership, don't stress me. I'll deal with whatever specifics that your legal service I'm giving you, I'll face that. If you're a mentee, box them and then put a time to it. Don't call me when I'm indoors. And if you must call me at that time, make sure it's the time I gave you. So it doesn't affect my family. Family is 100% priority. I don't care whatever the problem is because I cannot allow those things affect home. So you must put it like that. And I was, you know, saying this to add to Miriam's response to that caller. If it affects home, and you can spot it already, you must be deliberate about what you want to do about it. If it is work, because some people think, okay, if it's profitable what you're doing on your phone, there's nothing profitable that you're doing on your phone that is worth affecting. If you put it in the compartment, it's better. If you don't do it, the consequence of it might be costing you home, and that's risky, too risky for me to take.
Yeah, that's amazing. So there are people who their jobs are basically, like we explained, both of us, basically online. So what I do to save myself is scheduling. So I schedule when, and I don't go online to play, basically. I don't go online to look for gist or go and be trolling somebody on the post that they made on their page. I don't have that time. If you see me on my gadget, I am either posting markets or selling markets or getting inquiries or putting out courses. So I'm actually working. And I try to schedule the time. And I also schedule for the children. So like weekdays in the house, no TV, no gadget. You come back from school, you rest, eat your lunch, you rest a bit, you do your homework in the evening. If you are bored, take a book and read. After reading, come and sit down and explain to me the book. Weekends, I leave them with their gadgets. But I'm also trying to reduce the timing for that weekend because I realize that that weekend...
Morning to night.
Once they wake up, because it's weekend now,
First thing.
once they wake up, first thing is the gadget, and it's not working for me anymore. So I've also enlisted in sports. We're going to be doing a lot of playing together. We're doing tennis, we're doing swimming, weekends, we're out, sporting activities, we're jumping around, we're sweating, we're bonding on that level so that, you know, we just have a few times that we can sit down with the gadget properly. But I don't know how, for someone like me, we'll go and tell Oga to drop your phone, drop your phone, drop your phone every minute.
He's working.
Except when he's talking to me and we're trying to have a conversation and he's doing like this. I'm like, then I keep quiet. I can hear you. I say, you can't hear me. You're on your phone. Oh, sorry. And he drops it. But I have to do it every time. So probably it's something that we have to have a conversation and see how this phone thing is affecting us and the children. Maybe that will also help.
So for me, the conversation is consistent. I really don't have... I'm before till 2020, I just do content and leave my phone. But post 2020, I started doing business a lot on my phone. I had to set what do you call you know, phones help you to regulate, so you can put your timers to shut down. So you shut down at a specific time, and it really does help. But I have like I mentioned earlier, I gave my husband permission to say drop your phone, or he will take the phone from me, because I knew that I needed to put that check in place. That's on one end. On the other end is when it comes to children, we did activities on weekend. Just this week, my son was lamenting that our Saturdays and Sundays are no longer available to have fun. That in the morning, we are going to do sports, we will do extension classes. How many hours do we now have to even play games on the laptop? Then Sunday, we are in church. Mommy, we're in church till 1. So I realized that I'm overdoing it because I do like 2 services. So it means that I am working in church. I'm a worker. So, and I'm working 2 services. So they have to work. They have to now do 2 services. So it's also affecting them. But what I see as the overall thing is quality time to bond is essential for families, with children, with friends, with parents. And that quality time is more than quantity. So it's about you condescending that I can compartmentalize my life and create a quality 1 hour where I am giving all to this person and listening totally. And I let the partner understand that this is our time together. So on this time together, if we're going out, when we have our dinners, my husband and I tell him throughout this meal, before, after, I don't even want TV. When he takes me to a place and I see there's a TV around, I'm like, I don't want to sit down here. I don't want a place where there's a TV. You can be using eye to be catching football or something. If we're having dinner together, that dinner is you and me alone, because we can get so busy that we're not connected anymore, which is where the topic was about, which is the fact that infidelity is not really the cause of... phones are causing more division in marriage than infidelity. And the fact that the phone is with you every time. So you are more connected to somebody in the UK, more connected to somebody in the US than with the person right in front of you. Let us take time off and connect more one-on-one.
Okay, please, let me take this call quickly before I come to you, Nima. Joke from Iju. Good morning, Joke.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, ladies. Well done.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Please, what I want to say is that we parents, we should lay example for our children. We should do all these things in moderation. It seems necessary, but we should do it in moderation so that it will not affect our children negatively.
Amen.
Please, I need Nima's number. Please, I need her service.
Okay.
She needs your services.
Nima, please.
I need your services.
Don't worry, they'll put you on retainership.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma. So we're wrapping up this topic so we can move on to another one. So let me just throw this quickly. Where do we begin to draw the line from just being able to do work on our phones to when we become addicted? So some people are very aware of themselves and their environment, and they're easy to spot. Others are not so aware. So what are some of the signs you now see that will tell you, okay, I think I'm becoming addicted and I need to work on this? And solutions as well.
I think if you are not aware from just being on your phone, there are things that may be going on around you and you find that it slipped to your attention that will call your mind to it. If you're so much on your phone that you had missed some meetings that you should have had, or sent some emails that you were supposed to have sent, but you forgot to, or your child does something that, like, when did she learn that? When did they do this? I think anybody, responsible adult person, would take a step back and reevaluate, you know, what they're up to. So it's, and then after this conversation, I guess some people may also decide to do like a check on themselves and say, okay, how many hours am I spending? So one of the things I started was to put on my phone. You know, it has, at least my phone has, where it shows you how many hours you spent on any app on the phone. And for me, I could tell I was spending so many hours on different, you know, and that helped me. But quickly, I wanted to say, let's make time to have physical meetings. The other day when we were shooting our Valentine's promo, that day was just so rejuvenating for me. Like to hang out with the ladies and we're just talking and saying it wasn't anything serious, but just our phones were not there, not part of the conversations. We talked and we had fun, and we should make more time for that and allow our children to make time for that sort of
That's also part of my goals for 2023, to ensure that I bond more with not just family, but also friends. So my cluster of friends, you know, just find time, if it's once a month, if it's once in 2 months, so that the kids can play together, we can have conversations. It's also a way of building ourselves socially, our network, community.
One of the ways I know that I'm on my phone too long, because I love, once I come into the house to stay with my kids, is when my child is interested in whatever it is I'm doing. So I must be that thing must be more important, that the child thinks that it's okay, they should look over my shoulder. And then my son has a catchy ear.
Oh, all of them.
You know, some of the songs in my house, they are restricted from music. And then they will go to a party and my children know all the lyrics. I found out later that it's from the reels.
That you are watching.
That you watch.
No, I really
you felt bad.
Let me tell you one that how I knew a difference. There was one time I sang one song. I said, where did you learn that from? Oh, Gufran. At that time, she was like, it's from Gufran's car that I learned it. But now, when she sings some songs, where do you learn it? It's from when you're playing your videos, I hear it.
Those things
They pay attention.
Yeah.
So from the reels, they will know, and they know the lines. There was one time, there's one song that goes and promotes a drug at the end. And someone was like, I need it. Like, does he even know? Because I have.
Does he even know what he's saying?
Does he even? And he kept. I was just happy that he didn't get the lines right.
Yeah.
That he was mumbling, but I was like, I need to do more. You need to do better. You need to sit up. Yeah. This is not parenting. So I had to. Most times I'm on the phone. I've learned that one too. I even have to come. I've learned to watch my phone without the volume. I don't know how I do it, but I'll be like,
we all
be guessing
at some point,
of course,
killing volume. But even that self is not helping. It's just drop it. So dropping it has worked. Logging out has worked, and I think that's what I will be doing going forward. So when I come home, log out, drop it.
What are your final thoughts?
So how do you know you are addicted when you are always on your phone? And I think that a lot of times, when some people are calling your attention to your phone, then you know you're addicted. If one or two people are saying, put it down, then you know that you should start watching it. And I think understanding where you are per time, acknowledge there's a problem. I know that there's a problem. I know that I'm not ready to solve it per se. What I just can do is ensure that it doesn't affect my family. But outside that, I'm not really going to say I want to stop being on my phone.
That's why you
yet.
work. Yeah.
That's where I work. But if you acknowledge, it helps to have a consciousness of where the problem is. But in denial, you are just fooling yourself. So one, get a consciousness of what the problem is. And ask, one of the things that I realize is, I do business on my phone. For some other people, you are not making a dime from your phone, but you are spending your life on your phone. So for me, those are the categories that need to work on it immediately. You are not, there's no content from you online. You are not making money in any way, but you are busy trolling all the bloggers. You are following, you are on all the gossip. Like they don't have one post, but they are commenting on everybody's post. Busy trolling. You don't, that for me is a sin. It's a waste of life.
A crime.
And I tell a few of my staff, when I try to, you cannot understand. When I try to tell my staff to get more social and put themselves out there, I tell them a proverb I heard. It's a Yoruba proverb, but I heard it from Dr. Oyedepo, Bishop Oyedepo. He said, "Enyon ki n wo."
What does that mean?
That means
that's the way that they watch, not they watch person.
So
somebody gave me that proverb.
It's either you are watching or they are watching you. I have decided that I am going to be the one
that they are watching.
Be watched.
I mean,
so
literally, you are being
yes, and it's no, but on social media is a deliberate thing. So I give content, I leave quickly before I get lost watching other people live their life. Don't get lost watching people live their life. Ensure that whatever you are doing online is, I add value, I come out, and I go and spend time with my family. And if that is what you're doing, then continue doing it.
All right, let's take this call. Josephine from K2.
We have a tweet, an important.
Josephine, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, my beautiful lady.
Good morning.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Please, you people are telling us how to solve this problem of addiction. I want to know. I'm addicted to your views.
We are a good addiction.
We are teaching you something.
Honestly,
No, it's just
I'm
2 hours
addicted to
a
your
day.
views. I don't know how to solve that problem.
This one is not that type now.
It's not a problem.
It's not a problem. At least it's just 2 hours. And you're learning every day that you watch the show. Yeah. But another thing that helps, okay, I will come to your tweet, is understanding what your values are. What are your priorities as a human being? What matters to you? Family matters to me. So for every time I'm developing myself, is because I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better mother, you know, to my kids, my husband. I want to be a better daughter-in-law. I want to be a better daughter to my parents. So that at the back of my mind is what helps me to say, okay, I'm falling in this area. I need to adjust this area. And also, I've learned to forgive myself. I'm not always going to be the perfect mom. I'm not always going to be the hoovering mom. I'm not always going to be the, what's it called? Any type of mom. I can't be everything. But the things that I'm succeeding at and the things that I'm failing, I recognize them and I try to make adjustments so that I can have a balance. So I know some people will watch and feel, oh, I have failed as a mother, so I've allowed my children. No, no, no. You can always retrace your steps back and start afresh. Every day you have an opportunity to start afresh. So let's just do it better every day and learn every day.
Okay, so I think it's an important tweet. Immaculate Boy says, while you ladies are talking about the side effects of phones on relationships, etc., let me call your attention to the health concerns. Retina and blue eye problem are a bigger issue. I spent more than 10 million saving my eyes. Eye challenges are now way too many. Eye hospitals are witnessing retinal surgeries every day in rising figures, and it costs millions. We are witnessing a short-sighted generation. Short room spaces, closed TVs, indoors all the time, and phones and devices. So I think that is another thing. Maybe we would even call someone on a Tuesday to just talk to us about
this. A family member went to the hospital recently because they had to check his spine. And one of the things they told him that you must stay away from your phones, and if you have to use them, you will stay like this.
Wow.
You will stay like this.
Because
It's a serious matter. It's a serious matter. But let's quickly take Yakub. Yakub is holding. Good morning, Yakub.
Yeah, okay, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to everyone. Good morning. Ibi, as last caller said, even though it's a good one, some of us is so addicted to your view. I don't think we are wasting our time because we are addicted to your view, because we are one every day we are learning different things.
Thank you.
Because of the vital information you're giving to us, that makes us so addicted to it. But having said that, Mama Deja said something earlier that if you are doing something on phone and then that thing that you are doing is giving you income or is generating some kind of payment to you, I think it is very good. It is fine. Let me give you a simple example quickly because of time. Some of us that do trade, you get it. Even though we employ AI, artificial intelligence, I lost some certain part of money one day. Why? Why? Because the developer of the AI, they send a message. And then, in fact, that day was the day that I decided to drop my phone. They sent a message that there's a glitch. Everyone should close the trade. You know that I dropped my phone? Before I came back, the trade went against me. And then I lost a certain part of money that day. And then another thing is this, which I know I'm very, very guilty of that. The kind of job I'm doing, I wouldn't get home if it is not around 11:30 sometimes. Do you know when I got home, instead of me to go and sleep, it's the only that time I'll still go to Twitter, social media to read some certain messages, and then I'll still wake up for 10 minutes. I do it in the midnight. So sometimes I do tell myself, what am I doing? So they say that I set alarm. If I go home around 11:30, by 11:35, my alarm will be telling me, remember Kiamule, remember Kiamule. You continue ringing until I strike. So that is what I did.
Thank you so much, Yakub. I'm sure we've learned one or two things. Oh, you have a tweet? Go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to say Japheth.
Yes, Japheth Light.
So that too. I wanted to say it. Japheth Light said, not just, sorry, I agree with all the ladies on this. I'm a student, and I must tell you, one of the things I'm battling with right now is my phone. I can't read more than an hour, but I can use my phone for more than 8 hours non-stop. And not just that, I lost almost all of my friends because I no longer have time for most of them. Wow. I just pray we go over all this. I hate that part of not being able to read. So some of the books that would interest, when I joined Your View, I had to be in the news. I wasn't on Twitter. Facebook was the only thing. I didn't even have Instagram. It took 2 years on the show for me to get on Instagram. So Twitter, we had to take tweets. And little by little, you would think you're catching on news. It took me away from the editorials I would like to read in the papers. It took me away from the law books. It took a while. It's still a struggle to stay. In fact, I cannot do that long. And so if you find that something like, maybe because of the catchy lights and all of that, and which also affects your health, it's something that you must give up. So this is not totally to discard. Use it for what it is for. Get calls, take information.
Have a rest time from it.
Reduce what the need is for.
Yeah. So let's take the score.
Gossip thing is too much.
Ebony from Surulere. Good morning, Ebony.
Good morning, ladies. You're all looking radiant this morning.
Thank you.
It's been a while on the show. I tried reaching the show yesterday concerning the currency issue, but that's on now. My kids, I have an 18-year-old. Okay, he's going to be 18 in a few months. And my daughter is 12. Now, I found out that I didn't even give them any access to any gadget in the house that they could, refer to as their personal gadgets. I did not give them that. So, when you want to use a laptop, you want to use a browser, you want to use your steps. When I say go and use, you are going to use it with the mindset of, I'm going to use this and I have to give it back. Not mine. So you don't privatize what is not yours. And I let them understand that it's not that I cannot give it to you unless you tell me it's yours, keep it. It's because I want you to work very hard to be able to convince me that you're responsible enough to handle these kinds of gadgets. You see what these things are causing in the generation of now. These are our Gen Z. You are a part of them.
Yeah.
But do you want to turn out with the way they will turn out?
Thank you so much, Ebony. They have to work hard to earn it. Yeah. So I'm sure we've learned quite a lot. So we keep adjusting and modifying as we go. Yeah.